Once again, I'm back. Luleni lule. Kufunzi tunawasuka maneno michezo from the eye of the people. So the World Cup qualifiers. Africa zilianza match day 1 zimeisha leo. And remember we said like we needed to talk about how Kenyan sports is developing. And this is a forum that we said we want to talk about what we think is best. We highlight all the people wanajaribu kudu Kenya proud when it comes to sports, and equally throw people under the bus who are letting us down when it comes to the development of sports in Kenya. So we had continental matches that were being played for the qualification of the 2026 World Cup that's going to be co-hosted by 3 American countries, that is the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. The qualifiers have begun in Africa, and Kenya, as we remember, are grouped with 4 other African playing nations to qualify for this tournament. Remember, we have the group favorites, the Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast, for everybody who knows, they're the best ranked team in this group. Wako ranked number 9 in Africa. Then we have Gabon. Gabon is the second ranked African team in this group. Wako ranked 17 in Africa. Then Kenya comes third in the group. Kenya are ranked 26. Then we have the Gambia, that is ranked 31 in Africa. Then obviously we have Seychelles, which is the tail pullers in the group. They are the second last ranked African country, according to the latest FIFA ranking, at number 50, I think 52. Yes. So in this group, we all know that only the number 1 team is going to qualify directly to play at the 2026 World Cup. And we had group matches. It's called Match Day 1 that were played. And as you know, Kenya, Harambee Stars were playing away to Gabon, and we were beaten 2-1 by the host nation. We also know that the group favorites, the Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast, if you can call them, routed Seychelles as expected. And it gave them a good goal advantage, because at the end of the day, if teams are going to tie in the group, the goal difference is going to matter. And on this one, Ivory Coast gave Seychelles a whooping of more than 4 goals. We also know Kenyan neighbors, East African neighbors, Burundi are also in this group. Yes, I forgot about Burundi. And they were playing at home against the Gambia. And we all know the outcome, like Burundi managed to have a good start in the tournament, beating the Gambia 2-1. So as we speak, Cote d'Ivoire leads the group due to a better goal difference, because they routed the Seychelles. They tie in points with Burundi with 3 points. Then Burundi and Gabon with 3 points. Then Kenya comes number 4. Then definitely because of goal difference, the Seychelles, which they are supposed to play on Saturday. I think Saturday, yeah, if not Sunday, on Sunday. On Sunday, yes. So that's going to be one of the fixtures. But right onto it, the reason why I'm hosting this is to talk about the performance so far. Because remember, at the end of the day, 1 team qualifies if you don't play well. Yeah. The magic number in the group, according to me, is 15 points. Meaning, like, any team that's playing at home, you have to win your home matches, and convincingly, the way the Cote d'Ivoire did, or the way Burundi did, or the way Gabon did. So it's not a lost cause for Kenya, because I believe the reason why we have a home and away fixture is because it's to give you an advantage as a host playing nation, so that you can use your background advantage to win the games that you're playing at home. So the magic numbers I say is 15, because if you have 4 opponents you're playing and you win all your matches at home, which is 3 points equivalent of a win, that would total to 15 points. So this is the objective, and it's not a lost cause for Kenya, because they played away, and they have still other 4 matches to play at home, and probably snatch maybe a win and probably a draw away against some of this team. But there are certain things that cannot go unnoticed about the Harambee Stars that we need to talk about, and that's why we say this forum is so important. Kindly, if you're watching for the first time, hit the subscribe button, like, and most importantly, comment, because there are so many issues that we need to talk about. The performance of the Harambee Stars. Let's get into it. Number one, the first thing that we need to talk about is the performance of the national team. To me, I believe, like I said, it's not a lost cause because we were playing in a foreign land. But there are certain performances when you see, you need to just highlight and talk about it, so that in case somebody is watching, and if this team is serious about qualifying, we all know there are things that radically need to change in the team. And the first one, to me, I think it's the composition of the national team. For a long time, this team has had a group of players that have played for a long time in the team, and I think their performance has been mediocre for all this time that they're playing. You put a team together for a long time so that I can be able to know each other, learn each other, and play well together. But as things might seem, this combination has failed to work. The first time I saw this team together was before the 2019 African Cup of Nations that was hosted in Egypt. And I'm telling you, we were eliminated in the first round. We were grouped with Senegal, Algeria, and Tanzania. I'm telling you, that was the first time this team was brought together. And most of those players are still there, but we've never achieved what we thought we could. As a matter of fact, the team that played during that time was more motivated, and you could see walikuwa wanaweza jaribu kucheza ni kama timu inaweza shinda, lakini hii squad iko sahihi. To call spade a spade, we need to do another selection and invite more pool of players to the national team. Tusahau yaliyopita si ndwele, tugange yajayo. We need to bring back all the players who we think or feel or believe can make a great achievement for the team. Wale wako ni wazembe. There's no way you can play a soccer match 90 minutes without making even a single constructive move in the game that can lead to a striking opportunity. Tuliona wakicheza na Gabon, kuanzia beginning to end, hakuna strike moja ilikuja based on created chance. Ilikuwa ni kama watu wanabahatisha. Midfield ilikuwa overloaded. That's the only part of the team naweza patia credit, because when your midfield is trained for 90 minutes, there's no way you can play a constructive game. Strategy ya coach inafaa kuchange. There's no way African ama Kenya tunaweza kuwa every time we're playing continental match tunacheza na ile mentality ati tuko away tunafaa kudraw. Meaning, when we score the first goal, tunaenda tunapack bus for the remaining 89 minutes. We've seen this before. Haijaileta fruits, haijaisaidia kupeleka player wote kucheza professional. Your mentality inafaa kubadilika. Na kama mnanisikia ama unajua sports, kindly comment hapo chini kama kitu nasema ni uongo. Tumeiona kuanzia 90s, every time Kenya inacheza international matches, mentality if we go away, tuna pack bus, tunaenda kudefend, tukisema tunacheza away. Imefika point, fans tunataka kuona game, to lose, yes, because we know we're gonna lose, but let's play soccer. At the end of the day, to create opportunity basi for players. wakuwe wanaonekana, ule player anacheza poa, ule mchea anacheza poa. Hamwezi cheza 90 minutes na hata hakuna player amekata opponent moja. Hey, nilishangaa. Olunga anazuba tu uko mbele, anangojea zile makrosi za FC zikuje. How, man? It's about time we change the strategy of playing away. That is the first thing I noticed, because in the entire game against Gabon, there was no creativity from the midfield to attack. And the most disheartening thing about even the goals that were scored, go back memory lane when Kenya is playing the national team Harambee Stars. Go memory lane. Call out any game against Russia, against Qatar, against Senegal at the African Cup of Nations, against Tanzania. It is shocking to note that all the goals that we've been scored huwagani defenders era mentality ya defense. Sijui ya defense wetu kuwagaje. Yeah? Huwagani blanda ya defender. International games ndiyo mabao zinafaa kuskoiwa because of blunder. I agree na msee najua ata comment hivyo. Yes. But kuna zile mabao pia ma striker uscore zile classic. You say Messi amechapatuka free kick kameingia. Yeah? Ama defender amekatwa tu akaachwa. Hizo ndio tunataka Harambee wafungwe. Defender ameachwa ameanguka huko hivyo bao ikafunga. That's acceptable. But ile defender na blunder ati ana ball kama ile ya jana. Unapiga hedi narudi nyuma. Man. So strategy yetu, mentality inafaa kuchange. That's why nasema ukiangalia venye tulicheza hiyo game, tulifunga bao ya kwanza at the 40th minute. Na hii bao ya kwanza ati ilikuwa ni fluke. Tukaifunga even though bao ilikuwa classic, but opportunity iliangukiwa. But after hiyo hakuna, hata before hiyo hakuna kitu kwa tunacheza. So way forward ni ma players lazima wajitokeleze. They should play well. Every player has an opportunity when you play for the national team to showcase your talent. There's no way you're going to be caged by a coach like this is the way you play. Man, we have players. Compare the way Oliech used to play when he was playing for the national team. Every time he was given the ball, the crowd was excited. Kumbuka Motego venye alikuwa anacheza akipewa ball. Kumbuka venye hata Sami Onyango na Dao akipewa ball walikuwa wanatetemesha. So siku hizi tuna Olunga ndio ni striker, tunasema ndio striker tunaye, lakini akipewa ball hata apati ball, sijui apati ball juu ya nini. You know, like watu wajitume. Man, but hiyo defense yetu kuna vitu zinafaa zifanywe hapo hivyo. But midfield na wapatia credit kiasi. Hiyo midfield uko imeshikilia, iko solid. Ni freedom wapewe waanze kusukuma ball mbele. So to me, that is the number two. The number two thing I need to talk about is hiyo story ya individual responsibility in the team. When you're given an opportunity to play for the national team, you have to put your best foot forward. You need to play well. Other than playing for the national team, you have your own careers that when you're playing, somebody is able to see you and give you an opportunity to play for greener pastures. But the way mnacheza, man, itu nikaa basi imepakiwa hapo hivyo, hakuna hata mtu anaonekana kwa team. Lastly, coach. Yangu ni a coach. Man, coach, I've said this before, you need to increase the pool of selection. If at all we know we cannot win any international matches, let's focus on the 2026 African Cup of Nations. Tupatie wale watoi wa high school opportunity ndio wasukume hii game wa get experience. In 4 years watakuwa wameiva deadly. So that's another thing we should think about. If this is the way the team can play without entertaining even the Kenyan fans when they play away, let's take another team of young talented players who are budding and can be given an opportunity to learn through the experience and polish themselves within 2 years. When they play tough opposition, they'll be much better. than have a pool of players, same players who've already made it in their own stature and believe that's the best they can always give. So to think hivyo, kati unaweza think basi tuachane na ama players wako, tulete vijana kama venye Fabish alifanya, alileta brew mpya. Tunasema brew mpya ufagia kushinda ile brew mzee. Tuingize ama players wasukume ball, na hata kama napigwa, because in 2 years wakicheza hizo ma international matches na wacheze ma friendly kadhaa, vijana 18 19 wakifika 20 watakuwa wameiva deadly. We cannot win without trying. You cannot park the bus and expect to win. That's what ina to fail. Tunaenda international matches ni kama Joy Riders, atujitumi, then tuna expect to shinde. Hakuna. Si tulikuwa tunaambiwa ile time tulikuwa tunacheza sports, like hakuna kitu you can do in the match if you never done it before in your practice. There's nothing you can ever implement that you can never do in a real match situation that you've never done. And it also implies that for you to win, you have to give it your best in an opportunity and leave your best foot on the field. You cannot go defend, park the bus, and expect to win by chance. And that's what happened when we scored the first goal against Gabon. We were supposed to give our very best. Lastly, and I repeat, atuko hapa kuanika tu wase bure. It's not a lost cause for the national team at Harambee Stars. That was the first match, but we learned very quick. These games are gonna be played in a span of 2 years, but the first 2-3 matches are so important because it finds most teams are never prepared for the qualifiers. They don't take it seriously as they would take it on the last quarter of qualification. That's why when you get an opportunity to play the big teams at the beginning, it's an advantage to you if you give it a great effort. Gather a draw when you're playing away, gather win when you're playing away. Make sure muna bomo ama team at home. And the reason I say it's not a lost hope, hata Uganda, our neighbors, walikuwa they're better ranked than Kenya, walipigwa wakicheza away on the first match. Rwanda walipigwa, Somali walidandiwa, Burundi peke yake ndio wali win. So it is about that time tungoje hizi next day 2 in 2 days time, tuone venye vitu zitakuwa. But hii day 2 tukipigwa tena na Seychelles ama to draw na Seychelles, we can count this goodbye. And we will only have 2 options. Option 1 will be to introduce the young lads from the national under 20 ama under 17 ama ile team ya high school, ndio watu represent kwa hizo remaining fixtures za tournament, na tungoje African Cup 2026 which tutakuwa tuna host the pamoja bid, na hata hiyo wapewa opportunity wangarizi game hata wakipigwa ma 8-0, but wagather experience in 2 years. They'll be playing a different kind of soccer that we want. So at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. The next alternative, if we lose against Seychelles or draw against Seychelles, is to think about helping Burundi qualify. What's the pride? Oh, to me, I can be very proud if a team from Eastern Africa plays the World Cup. I've supported West African teams, I've supported North African teams at the World Cup. If Burundi can play vis-a-vis or as a representation of East Africa at the World Cup, it will be something good, and I would appreciate. So let's watch before we run to conclusions. But if at all we draw against Seychelles away, as Eastern Africa, let's help Burundi. Kufunzi tunawasuka maneno michezo from the eye of the people. Peace.